tour is starting to take its toll on some of these players. While it's early in the year, we're 7, 8 tournaments, maybe 9 tournaments deep post Australia. You know what I mean? So in as many weeks, right? So we're starting to kind of get into the throes, so to speak, of the tour and all the hate to say it, the person that got hurt almost is better energized for the next event.
Yeah.
And if you're not dinged up, you want to win now, so at least you can bank the points.
Right.
I always say it to say, and I go back to Carlos, when I see these crazy 1-1, 0-0, 0-1 type matches, it's very difficult for me to think that player's not peaking a bit early, especially in these longer events. Because to me, and I see her win that kind of match, you're bound to be flat. You're bound to be a little off in a match after you've already played really well. And that's all I would say. And that's no excuse. It's what it is. It's just my playing level at a certain point. The thing I want to point out to that, Alvin, is this. When I win a 7-match tournament, there is no way that I played great all 7 matches.
Sure.
That's the thing that people have to understand. I don't play my game. I don't play great tennis all 7 matches. I use the term I told you guys when you guys were players, and I think it's just the way it is. You have a day 1, horrible tennis. Day 7, phenomenal. You can't play any better. You might be lucky to play the level again. But you're never as bad as your worst day, and you're never as good as your best day.
Right.
You're always somewhere, right? One of the things, and I got that from an old coach and former Babylon exec back in the day. I thought it was one of the best things that he told me at Miami, ironically, at the tournament back in the day. And I've always used that because it made sense to me. You hope you don't have a day 2. And a day 2 is just a bad day. More errors than total points. And that's the day that Madison had. But you know when those days happen, Alvin? They happen after day 6s. They happen after a couple of days. You had a 4, you had a 5, you had a 6, you had a 5.5. Bam. Back to a day 2. It's like your body resets. You're back to the beginning of the week. It's like, hey,
you can't do this forever.
You can't do this for all. What are you doing? I just gave you 4 days in a row now. That's more than I should have given you. I gave you 5 in Australia. You're welcome. Don't sleep. It's back to day 2. That day's still in there. And you train to get that day out of your system or to raise the level that day so well that you never have to really do it. But that's what I mean when I say a player peaking early. That whole cycle tends to reset a little bit.
Yeah.
That's why you see these really lopsided scores from time to time from players that really are playing good ball. And that's something that I think our listeners and viewers should really understand, that I don't care how many times you played this person. You don't know what day you played them on.
Right.
It could have been your 6 and their 3. It could have been your 3 and their 3. It could have been your 3 and their 6. You just don't know. And the bottom line of it is you have to play the player on that day, and not to mention conditions. That situation is very, very fluid. You don't know from one day to the next how you're playing. And trust me, that seed is very vulnerable on certain days. First match of the tournament, vulnerable. You know what I mean? After a couple of big wins, after a couple of big tournaments, after a couple of big matches, vulnerable. Not as vulnerable going in. If they're warming up, heating up, 4 set, tight 3, big, nice 2, steamroll 2, buddy. That player's on fire right now.
And with these firepower, like big firepower, hard hitting women, like this happens sometimes. Like this is just one of those, like, you look at a standardized curve, and like, sometimes there's these tight matches that go 7-4, 7-5, 7-6 in the third. Sometimes there's these, you're like, what the hell was that? And let's say Rybakina did the same thing to Sabalenka last year, right before the Australian Open, beat her in the final, I think Auckland, like 0-1, just beat the piss out of her. And it was the same kind of thing. It was like Sabalenka was just a little bit off. Rybakina was playing it's like Rybakina found her 9 and Sabalenka found her 4, and it's happened on the same day in the same 100%. Hour, and it gets bad.
Paula Badoza beat Coco that way in Australia. You have these matches where you're like, wow. And again, you can't get too worked up over it.
And Madison, even before the Bencic match, though, she played Mertens, and she was up a set in a break against Mertens and had her, and then it got nasty, and then they went 3, right? So you go 3 set against Mertens, who's she's a tough out, and then 3 sets against Bencic, who's playing as well as anybody.
Right.
Might have been somewhere in there, yeah. But like, yeah, she shows up a little. Maybe she's just she should be a little tired. She just could be a little tired. You know what? Okay, so third turn.
Keys had a 4 with Mertens. She had a 4 and 3 with Mertens. She had a 3 and 3 with Bekic. Then she played Benčić.
Okay.
And beat Benčić 1-1.
Oh, that's right.
That's what I'm saying.
So that's weird then. That is weird.
And that's the peak. I'm trying to tell you, Alvin. That's the peak. That was Dimitrov losing to Carlito. Come on now. 1-1?
Right.
On. And so after that, I'm telling you, the day resets. It just does.
You know, a couple weeks ago, I was playing with a buddy, and I remember the first time we ever played in a match in a league, he beat me. I was not moving very well that day. Whatever, he beat me. And we lived close by, so we hit together every once in a while. I don't think he's beat me in a set ever since. But we get out there and we're playing on this court. This court for the listeners in Atlanta, it's a Lake Claire has this new court that's like been resurfaced, and it's like they put one court where 2 courts should be, so there's like a lot of space around. Yeah. Or you feel like you're like, whoa, what? I'm out stuff. Here. Yeah, you feel. Yeah. I felt it. Yeah. I was getting upset with how well I was playing on a day that it didn't matter. We played 2 sets. I beat him 1-1. He's like, let's play another one. I'm up 4-1, and we had to call it. And it's like, I was pissed because I'm like, I'm never gonna play this well again. I'm playing so well because you're gonna come falling out of that tree eventually, right? Maybe hopefully you hit every branch on the way down, but you just can't. You can't stay in the zone forever. You can't stay in the zone for 2 weeks.
It's a beautiful place that day.
Yeah, home.
You train to get back to it, and you train to make your worst day better.
Right. Exactly.
I never forget. We were at a Challenger one time, Sko and I, and there was a good player, Ryan Rowe. I never forget it. I'll never get.
He's an Austin guy. Yeah, we crossed paths in Austin back in the day.
Big tall kid, big lefty.
TCU. You go TCU, I think.
I think it was TCU. Big tall lefty, huge serve, big tall kid. When I tell you, Ryan was balling one night. Sko ended up doing pretty well in this future. I don't know if he won it or got to the final that week. Ryan Rowe was beating the piss out of Sko that night, and at one point I remember telling Sko, he's playing well right now. Sko was like, man, I'm saying this is like the night before. He's playing great. He's had a good week. I said, I don't know, Sko. And he's like, what do you mean? I'm like, he's playing a little too well. And I remember saying, too well. He's almost playing a little too well. Ryan's putting his stuff in his bag, shoving his stuff in his bag. We're like, hey man, everything good? I'm pissed right now. We're like, dude, you're playing great. I know. That's the problem.
That's the problem.
I'm playing well tonight. I'm playing great.
It's Wednesday.
I got the walk. I play on Sunday. It was Friday night. I'm like, and we all just hugged it out like, I got you, bro.
Yeah.
Here you, bro. And sure enough, he went out first, second round. I say it to say, had he been playing that tennis a week later, he won turn. You know what I mean? So I've been going through this thing for a while, Alvin, this whole day theory stuff. There's no exact science to it because you don't know necessarily how you're going to play, how you feel. There's so many factors to it. But what I will say is I think it has a lot of merit. It has merit from the sense that each player has their own range, right? You'd like to think I'm going to play my 1 through 7, right? You take out the 1s and 7s. I'm pretty much between the 2 through 6, and that means a median of 4. I'm at a 4 hopefully every day. Most people, and I would say most juniors, think that their median is a 5. They love to think of themselves as their 5 day.
They think of themselves as the best version of themselves.
Correct.
Yeah.
And they love to play a 6, but they really are, their 4 is really what they should be measuring, but they think of themselves as a 5. And they remember the 6. They never remember the 3 and the 2. Oh, that was just a bad match. I played terrible. I won't talk about it. Sure. I find most seasoned players know that they're a 3-4 combination. Yeah. And they know how to play better on their 5 day, and the 6 days of bonus. They never plan on playing as a 6. You can't, because that's 1 day out of a week at best, 1 match. You hope that your 6 shows up on a day the other guy's playing a 6. And then you got your chances.